Welcome to Scaling Without Breaking podcast, the show for startup leaders who are done winging it and sick of everything being a bottleneck. Your team's growing, the cracks are showing, and what got you here is officially breaking. Each week, you'll hear raw stories, sharp strategies, and real talk from founders, operators, and advisors who've scaled through chaos and built companies that run without constant firefighting. If you're ready to start leading like a CEO and move beyond just surviving, you're in the right place. Here is your host, Roland Siebelink.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Scaling Without Breaking. My guest today won the 2025 NAB Show Product of the Year award. He's built AI products that serve NBC Sports, Comcast, PGA Tour, WWE, and multiple US Olympic teams. His company extracts metadata from 70-year-old archival footage that even modern AI models can't make sense of and generates sports highlights on the fly. But here's what makes this remarkable. He serves all these enterprise customers with a team of just 11 people. No outsourcing, no contractors, all built in-house in Toronto. He holds certifications from MIT Sloan in AI strategy, and he's bootstrapped this entire operation without raising external funding. Have you ever heard of that? With that, everybody meet my guest, the hero of today, Ashish Agrawal. He is the founder and CEO of Eon Media. Welcome to the show, Ashish.
Hi, Roland. Thank you so much for having me here.
That's amazing. No, I'm very glad to have you. So let's delve right in, Ashish. How do you serve 7, now 8 enterprise customers with just 11 people? I wish every startup with an enterprise customer base knew how to do that.
Yeah, so again, it's I wouldn't say it's the easy thing, but definitely the way we are doing is by staying true to being a product company. So instead of having a different variation of the product and things like that, really having a single version of the product is something that we are staying true to, because of which we are able to use the same product across different customers. And then our team is really dedicated and passionate, and everything that we have done has been built in-house. So that's why we really know every nook and cranny of what really we are providing as functionalities and capabilities to our customers. Hence, we are able to support them on different workflows, different types of content, different types of output needs, and things like that, while still maintaining a single version of the product.
So let's delve a little bit deeper here, Ashish, because of course, we work with tons of mid-stage startup companies, 20 to 200 people, many of them with an enterprise customer base. And you're mentioning you're already dealing with lots of edge cases, that it's a product, but my experience is that startups dealing with enterprises, even if they do have a strong product vision, they often have to support all these special needs for any specific enterprise, right? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so the way we do in our processes, we definitely look at the different types of content. So when you're looking at a sports content versus a news content versus any user generated or a B-roll type of a content, we look at the different types of content that we are working on. But then, regardless of the content, we have built our AI models that are able to automatically adjust and adopt to based on the content itself. So if it's a sports content where we're focusing on the teams, athletes, the particular play that's happening, versus in the case of news where we have the anchors, reporters, and a specific story that's been talked about, our models are able to understand that the type of content is this, but underneath it has separate workflow that's been set up. So if we are working with a sports content for, let's say, basketball or a different sport altogether, versus if you're working on the local news versus a national news, we are able to have different workflows triggered within the same product. So we don't need to have 2 separate sets of products working with different types of content itself.
Okay. So you're basically designed to support multiple workflows from the outset, right? So that's a good answer there. Talk to me a little bit about a team of 11. Like, how does this divide up? How many are more like product and engineer people versus more customer facing, if you will?
So on our side, we actually bring any of and all our team members to be part of customer discussions, demos, or even post-launch related support activities itself, because we like to ensure that all our team members are having the platform and able to have that open communication with the customer, and the customer is able to connect with some of the team members itself, while we are still keeping the communication streamlined with the customers. All our team members are brought into that discussions at different stages of the overall plan with the customer itself.
So you don't believe in a separation of customer facing versus people who are more on the inside working on the product?
No, and that's where I come in to be playing that support role in case if somebody is not necessarily fully in depth on areas itself, because I have deep understanding on the different aspects of the company, different aspects of the product, both from the technical, functional, and the non-technical side of things itself. So I'm playing that support role for that team member in those discussions itself. So we are working as a tag team so that anytime a customer has a question, I'm able to either pitch in, provide more details and context itself, and still be able to get the other team member to provide their specific points of view on aspects that they need to provide on.
It sounds like Eon is still very founder driven, and that's not surprising when it's a team of 11, right? That's what makes you successful as a small company.
Yes, and again, our team has been really the pivotal about all this, and we have an amazing set of advisory board members, part of our company, who I continue to collaborate with. They continue to mentor me, guide me, because this is my first company as well. So definitely getting guidance from folks who have been in the industry, who have done this multiple times, is really a big blessing for us to be able to have them be believing not just in me, but even in the company and our vision as well.
Excellent. Maybe that sparks another question. How do you select the right members for your advisory board?
So we started this with our Comcast Sports Tech folks itself. So in 2021, when we became part of the Comcast Sports Tech, in there we met a couple of folks, one from the sports industry, which is where our initial part of the product was. Then we also met another person who was on the serial entrepreneur side, but also more on the technical product development side itself as well. And the third person that we wanted to bring in afterwards is from the broadcasting space itself. So we wanted to have these deep expertise of the people in different verticals, so that we are not trying to bring duplicate types of board advisory members into the company, but really having that unique expertise so that they can help in that particular vertical, but at the same time provide an overall arching advices to me, to the team, and really to work with us to continue to achieve the company's vision.
Okay. And are you looking for specific expertise, or is it more like people with Rolodexes, people that can introduce you to enterprise customers?
Obviously, in an ideal world, yes, always somebody who has the Rolodex itself as well. But we tend to not have our advisors really play the business development role and really be the person who's going to be kind of selling things to their respective contacts. But we definitely do bring in people who are active in the industry, who are very well aware of what really is happening, and they are working in the industry with some other organizations itself, whether be it some of the recent organizations that they were part of, or in the recent current work that they are working with some other organizations which are tend to be in the same industry itself. So that's what we look for. And then we have obviously the business development folks who are playing on the ground the actual sales efforts along with me, but then working with the advisory board members to get their inputs, feedbacks, and really their mentorship guidance on that.
Excellent. Okay, very good. Who's the advisory board member you would like to highlight or be are most proud of?
Oh, that's a very tricky question, and I do not want to pick names because, yeah,
Of course, you're gonna bruise all the other egos now, right? But maybe just where there's an interesting story about the person without any value judgment.
so I would say the first board member that we brought on into the company was Booker Poole. He was the former chief commercial officer of USA Cycling. He was the one who I worked very heavily in terms of really giving a very unique feel to our initial product, which was the Eon Extract, which was for ROI sponsorship measurement. So he really had the vision on how to really make it kind of external facing to the executives stakeholders so that they can really use that for decision making purposes when it comes to pricing of any new sponsorships or anything like that. So he not only provided us that vision, but he continued to play that pivotal role on guiding that, because he has seen on a lot of different solutions on what are the gaps that the sponsors really need when they are looking for that information about that. Okay, they have invested X dollars, but how much have they recouped on that? What is the type of information would the sponsor be needing? So he really provided us that level of detailed inputs and feedback, which really helped us shape our product itself. So he has been pivotal on that side of the journey for us.
That's sort of like the ROI calculations for the customers are all in place in a way.
Yes, exactly. So he has really been key factor to provide the right ways of doing the calculations itself rather than doing the estimations and all, and making it very factual and database so that it's easy for us to provide the information that is going to be relevant and applicable to the respective sponsor.
Uh-huh. Okay, very good. So you also mentioned in our pre-call that, of course, you do have a white glove service model, even if it is with the same core product across all customers, right? I was thinking, is this resurfacing archived content, is that a business they could not really do before your product? And in that sense, they're more likely to just let you do it?
So one of the fundamental things that really even today exists in any type of content discovery is the metadata. So anytime you're looking to find anything on any video or audio content, the only way you can really find it is how good the metadata associated with that content is. It's true even on our OTT streaming services. So when you talk about archives which are 50, 70, 80, or even 100 years old, when at that time there was no concept of asset management systems, there was no concept of specific digital way of cataloging information itself, there was not really much metadata that was really preserved associated with that. So really things were labeled on the tapes, or some information was jotted down on spreadsheet or something like that. But that was about it. But there was never an information about the topic. There was never an information about the cast and crew, the location, the brands, and other things itself. And the volume is so big that doing this manually was something that was not the right way, and obviously the cost effective way to do this. Hence, there needed to be an automated and an intelligent way to extract this diverse level of metadata associated with, again, we're talking about sometimes sports content, sometimes news content, sometimes B-roll type of content, all different types of content as well. So doing this in a intelligent and cost-effective way is what we bring to the table. Wow, yes, they could do this before manually with the humans and all, but doing that with 70, 100 years of content is a very expensive and not the most efficient way of doing it. Hence, they are leveraging our technology to be able to do that while they are ensuring that their content is never abused or misused for any other purposes. It is always their property. They never have to sacrifice on the ownership of the content or anything like that. So that is something that is where they believe that our transparency and in-house capabilities are really providing them the right value.
Hmm. Excellent. And so you mentioned the benefits already in the pre-call. So like no customer data annotation, no data sets needed, no integration field, no customer side, no, sorry, no integration fees, no customer side changes, right? What is your business model then? How do you get compensated?
So we work based on the volume of the content. So it could be based on the storage size itself. So if they have 10 terabytes or 100 terabytes worth of content, or if they have 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours of content, so we charge them based on the volume of the content that we are processing. So either by per GB or by the per hour. And that's what we really are focusing on, because our premium cost is really on the processing and our AI model itself. The other thing we tend to provide that included part of our product. And the reason for that is we want to make sure that we are a true solution provider to the customers itself, not just providing a small part of the workflow, but really providing the full thing. So it's almost like somebody wanting to buy the bubble wrap itself. If we are just providing the air but not the plastic, then we are doing half of the job. We are not providing the bubble wrap. So that's why we say that not only we are going to do the air, but we are also going to provide the plastic, and we are going to even package it properly so you are able to use it in the right and the most efficient manner as well.
So does that mean you provide the entire platform they need to actually serve that content?
Yes, exactly. So we do the entire thing from taking in from their raw physical tapes, digitizing it, extracting the metadata, putting it up on the digital storefront, monetizing it, and then them getting the revenue directly deposited into their accounts.
So yeah, you got a few things really right strategically, like early on, like you've got your 10x advantage where they can do something much more efficiently than they were able to do before. Plus, I think this makes it much easier to provide that core product because you serve it all in all your own assets, right? So like the workflow is standardized from the outset.
Exactly, exactly. And we still tweak it sometimes. So let's say if even between the news broadcaster, if there is a news broadcaster that are using a totally different asset management system and their current assets are stored in a totally different place, and if they want certain additional types of information itself, so we do tweak our workflow, but then we still don't modify our product. We tweak the workflow and we make it part of the product. So based on that particular customer, we have a new flavor of workflow available in the product and it can adopt to that. So if in future another customer wants something very similar, we'd be able to repurpose that same workflow in the same product itself.
Right, like basically forward-driven engineering, right? Customer-driven engineering, where basically all those requirements turn into the product. That's excellent, very good. So, Ashish, what's growth been like and traction in the last 12 to 18 months?
So it's been great discussions we have been having with a lot of broadcasters in different places itself. So in US, we have been fortunate enough to start to work with some of the public broadcasters, such as PBS station in US itself. We recently announced a partnership just last year with WCTE, which is in Cookville, with our partnership with Public Media Venture Group, which is a conglomerate of 30 plus different PBS stations itself, where we are looking to provide new revenue opportunities to the public broadcasters so that they can license their existing content and make some new revenue. And just as of yesterday, we also announced a very big partnership with Cumulus Media, which is one of the largest audio broadcaster, for us enabling a lot of new monetization opportunities and a new way of doing the audience engagement, leading to new sponsorships and of course new revenue with that itself as well. And then we are starting to see a lot of interest from other regions outside of US as well, in Latin America and in Japan as well. So we are continuing to also cater to some of our potential customers in those areas itself as well.
Excellent. So I was talking to a different founder this morning who was also a little bit more in the music scene, but was talking about big partnerships. But their problem was that the partnerships were all looking to be exclusive. How do you deal with that?
So far in our case, we haven't had that request where they are looking for an exclusive partnership just as of yet. Because our customers are looking to use our tried, tested, and in-market product itself. Yes, they may have certain unique use cases, but again, the core of the product is still something that has been in production for more than 3 years itself, and that's exactly what they have seen out in the field. They have had the references from our existing customers and all, and that's what they want to use. So exclusivity is not something that we had been requested for just as of yet.
Okay, and these new partnerships, how do you find them? Is it primarily through your board of advisors?
So it's been actually through different events. So the NAB is one of the key shows that we are part of since past 2.5 years itself. So us winning awards has led to some of our initial major customers, and then continuing to go to the NAB events has led us to be in front of some of the new customers and the decision makers as well, and continue to build that relation by continuing to be participating into those NAB conferences itself, is where we have been able to find that. And now in other regions, we have brought in some sales and business development folks who have deeper contact in those regions itself. And we have announced some partnerships in those regions itself as well. So they are helping us find the new customers in completely new markets as well.
Excellent. Okay, so award-based marketing, I guess it sounds like, right? A little bit like an ad agency would do.
Exactly.
That's very smart, very smart. I love it. So, what would you say is the biggest challenge right now, Ashish, to the degree you can share, of course?
So I would say the biggest challenge for us really is to continue to get in front of the customers and really to help them understand the value of their own content. One of the key things that a lot of content owners are not necessarily seeing is they have a lot of this archival and historical footage, which has really some unique pieces of information, unique pieces of video footages itself, but they are not necessarily seeing the value because one, they don't have the metadata, they don't know what really is in there. So they are not necessarily believing that it may have a certain level of worth. And that's where we are continuing to have them see that they have certain pieces of content that can actually be really worthwhile for monetization, new revenue purposes, and other kind of insight purposes itself as well. So that's the part that we are continuing to share with different customers with our case studies and with our existing customers' implementations itself.
Okay, so you're all like hunting for case studies and public POVs and all that stuff.
Exactly. So that is where they are able to see that how it has been applied to some of the other customers who are in the market, how existing customers are able to recoup some of the investments that they have done and things like that.
Okay, and do you have like a clear view on who's the persona that you're targeting the most? Who's going to be your champion? What kind of title in these companies?
So generally, I would say the people who we are looking to work with is at the C-suite level because folks in that particular role, either a chief strategy officer, chief revenue officers, or even CTO or COO as well, they're able to see a bigger vision of the organization, and they are definitely focused on finding ways of generating new revenue opportunities itself. So they do have that vision of investing into something that can lead to a much bigger return. So those are the folks that we are continuing to focus on to engage into those initial conversations. But then we definitely work with some of their operations, engineering folks itself who do work on the ground level day in, day out using this particular content and all. So we do bring them into the loop on seeing the product capabilities for them to really feel the overall capabilities by themselves and provide that feedback back to the C-suite folks itself.
Okay, very good. Talk to me about the funding philosophy. Why have you not raised any money?
So one of the reasons that we have not raised money is we had been fortunate enough to get really a lot of support from the Canadian government for different programs that the Canadian government has provided to us since our very beginning itself. Secondly, we wanted to make sure that we are staying focused on bringing in more and more customers, which is exactly what, if we were to raise money, that would be something that we would need to continue to focus on. So we already knew the get-go goal of what needed to be done. So we wanted to make sure that we are not necessarily adding more pressure on top of us when we already know what is our key goal is to bring in more and more revenue. So we wanted to have more revenue, and then we were looking to continue to see who is necessarily interested in potential strategic partnerships and things like that itself. And so far, it's been working out well. We have been profitable, and we have a pretty decent amount of margins itself to be able to assist our existing customers and be able to help grow our team itself slowly, not exponentially, but slowly.
Very cool, very cool. Ashish, how big can this become?
So we are, even though we are 4.5 years into the company's journey, we do believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, we are looking to increase our revenue by 5 to 10x itself, given the conversations and some of the discussions that we are part of itself as well. So we are definitely looking to do that. And then potentially within 3 to 5 years, we are looking for potentially either a merger with another organization or potential acquisition.
I see. Very cool. So, of course, I'm always interested in the person behind the company, Ashish. So, where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit more about your childhood.
So I grew up in India, and I was there for almost till 19 years my age itself. I was always interested in computers. I was always interested in doing programming. So from the very early path of my school. I took courses to learn programming languages and things like that. And then I came to Canada to do my bachelor's, and I was admitted to York University, went through my own share of different challenges and experiences at that time, and worked my way from a developer to a business analyst to a project manager to a product engineer itself, from a consulting company to a media and the broadcasting company itself, then to launch some of the OTT streaming services, which is where I started to get a lot of deeper insights in the video streaming workflow, the challenges that are happening and the video streaming purposes, the challenges that are happening with the metadata level from the browsing and discovery. I mean, COVID was no surprise to anybody, where people were watching a lot of content, but a lot of time people were spending time just browsing and trying to find the right content to watch because of the lack of right metadata and the discovery of the content. And that's where I wanted to build proper solution that can truly address that issue and not really tie the customers with a list of prerequisites of them providing data sets, them to do 5 or 6 different things to be able to use our product, but instead take away all of that and really provide them a white glove service treatment so that they really see the value of working with us, not as a vendor customer relation, but more of as a partner and a one member team relation.
Ashish, when I ask people why do they not start a company, they say, I don't have the courage. There's a lot of courage required to start a startup, right? So what in your childhood or your teenage years, or who do you think helped you gain that courage in when you were building your character?
So I would say the circumstances actually and the situations really continue to push me. And then the challenges that I continue to see with the solutions that were offered to the customers that I was working for in my previous job days itself is where I saw that these are not something, the limitations that the customers should really have. There should be proper solutions that should be there. And being always focused on solving the problems for the customers is something that continued to push me. And it got to a point where I really needed to take a step back and take it on myself, that I can't always put it on an existing solutions limitation and all. I need to be the solution myself. And hence I took it upon myself to start the company, start the journey itself, to build the right solution, to build the right partnerships with the right customers itself.
Okay, so you already mentioned that as a kid and as a teenager, you loved programming and did all the courses and stuff. Was there also something in your early years that you would say predestined you for learning to be more the salesperson, more the business person?
So, from the beginning of my career after my graduation, I really enjoyed interacting with the different customers and really understanding their problems, understanding their challenges. And being a developer in the very beginning part of my career, I enjoyed solving their problems through the code and whatever things that they were having, rather than really making it as a limitation that this is what I can do or I cannot do itself. And in those interactions, given that I had the knack of always focusing on finding a solution, the openness and the transparency really helped me connect with those customers and them really believing in me, that I'm always looking to do the right things by the customers. That really helped me understand, learn from that experience, and grow my different communication skills, ability to see the need of the customer and map the solution to that. So that's how I continue to work on myself, continue to build that skill itself. I'm still not in any which way perfect. I'm still learning itself. I'm not the best salesperson, but I definitely want to do right and want to be very honest and transparent always to the customers and partners. And that's what I continue to do on a daily basis.
Okay, very good. And yes, there's definitely big advantages to founders who actually understand the technology that they're selling, right? Especially early stage, I would say. But a different question, maybe, Ashish, before we close. Many of the founders we have on the show relate to somebody in their earlier years, whether early career or even earlier, that said, like, oh, they saw something in me and they really helped inspire me, maybe like some kind of a mentor or a hero or somebody. Who's that person to you?
For me, I I have had really good folks who have helped me shape my career in the very beginning itself. There have been few people in the very beginning of my first company that I worked with itself. I'm still in touch with them. they really helped me grow as a person. They really gave me a lot of exposure, opportunities to interface with those potential customers who at that time definitely seemed very big opportunity for me itself. So I still believe that those had been really pivotal in giving me the kind of opportunities that helped me shape to the person that I am as of today. And obviously, my wife and has been a key part in this entirety of my journey to really give me that push, really give me that motivation and a reason to push myself on things.
Ah, it's the wife. I get it. But no, just kidding, of course. But going back to the people who inspired you, can you expand a little bit? Don't have to mention any names, but more like what was their role and their relationship to you?
Yeah, so in the first company that I worked with, this was a head of the business development group, and that was a around 60 member company itself. He was in charge of the overall public sector business sales and overall product management itself. And he not only had a good understanding of what the customer needs were, he had a good way of connecting the product requirements with the existing solutions that we had. And I worked very closely with him, and I always was interested in solving the problems. So he continued to mentor me, guide me on how I should approach certain problems, how I should communicate the solutions, how I should interact with different types of customers, different types of team members itself. So he really provided me the way to be a better communicator, to be a better contributor as a person as well. And that definitely helped me shape to be the person I am today.
Okay, that's an excellent story. Thank you so much. So, if now that you're, of course, in more of the boss role, you have a team of 11, probably growing over time, right? How do you now apply those lessons and instill confidence in people that work with you?
One of the key things that I always wanted to have in the company is provide a platform to the people who are genuinely passionate in solving the problems and providing them a platform where they can be independent in terms of providing their ideas, in terms of solving the problems and all, and not really tying them to the hierarchies of the company, not tying them to frameworks and the specific things that are done in the company, but really provide them a platform where they are focused on achieving the solutions, achieving the deliverables in the right manner itself. So that is something that we had from the day one really focused on in the company. And till today, we push for providing that type of platform to the folks itself as well. That's why we have partnered with University of Waterloo since past 3.5 years for different students on the co-op side, for post-graduation side itself as well. And they have been amazing to take advantage of that learning opportunity and really put their unique passion and the technical skills behind the overall solutions that we have built so far.
Okay, very good, very good. Ashish, when people want to know more about Eon Media, where do they go? What should they download? And how do they get in touch with you?
So definitely our website has all the information about our products. Our LinkedIn page is very active as well. I am personally very active on LinkedIn myself as well. So if they do need to get in touch with me, LinkedIn would be the best way to get in touch with me itself as well. And the company's LinkedIn page is very up to date. That would provide all the latest progress that we have been doing in the company. And they can find us also in person at various conferences and events itself as well in North America and other places as well. So definitely there would be opportunities for us to meet and connect with new people as well.
Yeah, and we'll put the information in the show notes, of course, but I believe the URL is eonmedia.ai.
That's right, exactly.
Okay, perfect. And if somebody knows me and does not know Ashish yet, of course, I'm also more than happy to make an introduction to this amazing guest, Ashish Agrawal, the CEO and founder of Eon Media, calling us from Toronto. Thank you so much for joining this podcast episode, Scaling Without Breaking.
Thank you so much for having me here, Roland. Really appreciate this.
And for all the rest of you, a new episode will be online next week. Please talk to us then.
The Scaling Without Breaking podcast requires more than a conversation. It takes action, research, and collective wisdom. If today's episode resonated with you, we'd love to hear your insights. Join the conversation and help us shape the future together. We'll be back with more stories, strategies, and real-world solutions that are making a difference for everyone. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe, rate, write a review, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.